Hi, and welcome to another episode Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon, your local real estate professional. And today we're here in West Linn at the base of the Tualatin River as it meets the Willamette River. And way back in 1894, there used to be a trolley train system that ran just over here. And that would take employees of the Willamette Falls Electric Company, which eventually became the Portland Electric Company. That would take them from the Tualatin River all the way up through what we know as Willamette Falls Road now to the actual Willamette Falls, just a junction station just above the Willamette Falls. Before we get into the history or the lost history of the Willamette Falls Railway, let's take a look at what makes West Linn so special.
West Linn is located in the southern suburbs of the Portland metro area, just across the river from Oregon City. With just over 26,000 residents, West Linn is home to one of the best school districts in the state. It offers numerous parks, river access, dining and shopping throughout the neighborhoods, including its charming historic district. The prices for single-family homes range anywhere from $200,000 to $2 million. For the past few years, the median home price has been increasing beyond $525,000.
According to the old-timey map from the Historical Society, the junction station, the first junction station for the trolley system, would have dropped off the employees just above the Willamette Falls, which is right behind me. Again, according to the map, this is where the junction station would have been, and it would make sense that the employees would have been dropped off here, since the early formation of the electric company was formed just above the Willamette Falls itself. Eventually they added to the trolley track, and it extended from the junction station right above the Willamette Falls, and it went all the way over here to eventually where they built the police station and the city hall. Again, I'm not sure where the actual train tracks or the trolley tracks existed, whether or not they actually existed on Willamette Falls Drive, or whether or not they were built down here by Mill Street. So I'll get into the history of City Hall and the police station, the original one, here in West Linn in another episode. But in the meantime, you can imagine what this place would have looked like if we had a fully operational electric trolley system running from the Tualatin River all the way up to the Willamette Falls, above the Willamette Falls, over here to eventually where they built the police station and City Hall, and then extending the track even further, going past Bolton neighborhood to Mary S. Young, or finally ending where West Linn meets Lake Oswego. I met up with DR Schreiber, the Vice President of the West Linn Historical Society, as he shared more information about the Willamette Falls Trolley.
This was one of our remaining paths of the Willamette Falls Railway. And the Willamette Falls Railway is kind of a unique railway in Oregon because it didn't really go to anywhere or connect to anything else. It kind of was just sat on it by itself here on the west side of the river. Never got all the way up to Lake Oswego, never got across the river. It just was about 5.7 miles on the west side of the river.
Now you've mentioned that we're here in Mary S. Young Park, and you mentioned that what we're looking at is, what is it that we're looking at?
This was the original path of the railway. It's now called the Railway Trail, which you can walk in the park. But it's really short, but it just shows you kind of the direction that the railway used to run on the northern end of the trail. But, you know, because Willamette was unique, Willamette had electricity since it was founded in 1894. We beat New York by about 20 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, New York didn't get electricity until about 1914. So Willamette was one of the first, but this railway was one of the reasons why they put it in. Later in its life, it was mostly used for logging. It was never really built up. The idea was originally they wanted to make a west side railway that went all the way to Portland and all the way down to Salem, but it never finished. It never got connected. So that's why if you look at some of the old pictures, we have this gorgeous Victorian style, huge rail station for a tiny little trolley line. But the idea was this was supposed to be a junction point in the middle of a big line, and it just never got built. So we had this beautiful big building, and it never really went anywhere.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So that's wondering. It looked really nice, and I was trying to figure out where it was exactly. But
It's just about where the police station was.
Okay.
I heard it was just a little bit south of where the actual building was, but yeah, that was torn down in the 30s to make room for the new West Linn City Hall, which is what is now currently standing there.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea. I've walked this trail many times. I had no idea this was where the trolley track ran. I read somewhere that there was a small moment of time that was running from like 6 in the morning to midnight.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah, they had regular routes. I mean, during its peak, it was running as many as 30 or 40 trips a day. But again, a lot of it was logging. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily people.
Okay.
The logging cars were the bigger draw, but obviously people, that's what we used before you had the buses. You had to get from around town, and Willamette was fairly remote. I mean, the little town of Willamette was 3 miles out there, so if you wanted to get back and forth, you had to take the trolley.
Yeah, it made sense. Totally made sense.
There's a great story back in 1908. They used to not charge for the trolley on Sunday. It used to be free, so people would take the trolley from Willamette into Oregon City to go to church. Then they started charging in 1908 for Sunday, and the people in Willamette wouldn't put up with it, so they decided to build their own church over in Willamette. So that's what Willamette Methodist Church was built in 1908 because of the charge of the trolley. So if they hadn't started charging the trolley, we probably wouldn't have gotten to church over in Willamette.
Look at all these little things all interconnected.
Yes.
You are also a magician and illusionist.
I am a conjurer, yes.
Conjurer. You did a card trick for me
Yes.
last time we did an episode, and I was terrible at it. Really easy to read. And actually, we tried to recreate that with my nieces.
Did you really?
Yeah, and they were watching it, and one of them successful.
Oh, good.
Because I was so bad.
She read
I was
you well.
such a bad read, an easy read, that she was able to do the trick very well.
You want to make it a little harder. Do you have a book with you by chance? Any kind of book in the car?
I do. I have like the driver's manual and things like that.
Let's go get a book.
Okay,
We'll
we'll come back and take a look.
Yeah. I mean, the original plan was that they wanted to run trains from the park over there where the Willamette and the Tualatin came together, and allow people to offload their goods there, avoid the locks, and go to the other side and offload it again on this side of the river, so they could go train back into Portland.
Right.
And that also didn't happen. So all these great ideas that just kind of died. We kind of made a nice sleepy town of Willamette. So it would have been very different having a massive train line going, I think, through town.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, it's always charming to have like something of the old days it's still intact. Like I said, we have some of the buildings in place.
Yep.
But it's just neat. Like I said, when we first met, you were telling about this trolley system that used to be here. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think about like what that would have looked like and where was it. And that got me on this whole path of trying to find out more information about it. But I had no idea about this trail here at Mary S. Young.
This is the one that's left. I think it even says a railroad trail.
Oh, there it is.
There's your sign. They still call it the railroad trail.
So here we are. We're by the dog park area for Mary S. Young Park, and we found a table, and we're using the owner manual for my car.
There you go.
As the book. So obviously I don't have this memorized whatsoever. So.
Are you sure? You haven't? You should have it memorized by now. Well, so this is just a regular book. Obviously, there's thousands of pages in here. What is it? Probably.
Let's take a look.
Here, take a look. I don't know how many pages are here, but it's just a regular owner's manual. So every page is unique. Every page is different, right? Mm-hmm. There are no repeating pages. I'm noticing that there is a repeat, though. They repeat a lot at the top. So we'll kind of disregard the top part because it's saying driving your vehicle, driving your vehicle, driving your vehicle. That'd be pretty easy to guess some of that stuff, I would think. But what we'll do is I'm going to hold the book, and you tell me where to stop. I'm just going to flip through it.
Okay.
And you tell me where to stop.
Got it. Stop.
Right there. Okay. Take a look at the very first word on the page, not the driving part of it, but right on the very first word right there. You know what that word is?
I'm going to go here real quick.
Okay. Well, I'll have you write it down, so you don't have to worry about it, unless you got it that way. No, you got it. That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you. Do you need to write it down? Remember what it is?
No.
Okay.
We know.
Must not be a hard word then.
Yeah.
All right. It's not initials or letters or
no.
anything like that. Okay, good. I need you to send me that word.
For my mind?
Yes, through your mind.
Okay.
Send me your word. It's harder than just predicting one card, see?
Okay.
Think of the very first letter of that word.
Mm-hmm.
This word have an S at the end?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right.
I can close my eyes. I'm a bad tell.
That's the word that I came up with. Is that even close?
That is it. That's the word.
You did a good job.
Exactly.
You're very good at that. Now you have to get your daughter to do that one. So.
yeah, definitely. Well, look at that. So thank you so much again.
So now you got to memorize the rest of the book there. So.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you again so much
pleasure.
for taking your time out to join me and join us. And all your information will be listed below this video. There's a lot of amazing events throughout the year over at the Westland Historical Society. Again, all their information is down below this video. Again, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
See you. But as Danny and I got talking about the old Willamette Falls railway system, there was some discussion about a place called McGone's Park, and there actually had a McGone station in West Linn that the trolley system stopped at. That was just south of Mary S. Young Park. And trying to find out exactly where McGone's Park resided, I think this might have been it. So what makes the McGone amusement park so interesting, again, according to the old-timey map from the Historical Society, there was a McGone station, a train station, that dropped off a lot of the patrons from Portland here in West Linn so they can enjoy the amusement park that would have probably been located right over there. This amusement park would have like a wading pool, like a swimming area just outside of the river area, as well as rental cottages, and they had a dance barge called the Bluebird. And that would sail from, Portland down and be stationed here on the Willamette River, so they had a place to dance. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Around the Neighborhood. I had a blast just like researching and looking at old photos and trying to imagine where the trolley system used to exist here in West Linn. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home in this area, please give me a call. All my contact information is below. As well as if you have any questions about the real estate process, I created a free video series called The Secrets of the Real Estate Process, and that's over at freesecrets.net. That's at freesecrets.net. Thanks again for tuning in to Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon, your local real estate professional, and I'll see you around the neighborhood. As I was mentioning, back in 1894, West Linn had a trolley train system that would escort the, what kind of service are we giving here in West Linn? All right, hold on. So I'll get into the history of the City Hall, my car's owner manual for my car.
There you go.